looking for her very own sunshine. All alone in her faith, many roads to travel time, but she didn't
I'm telling you, I could do that. It's one of those deals. Today, again, another day in the Russ, Meek Speak show, looking at 2024 here, and I have a notable individual here on the show with me, a Brandon Kaufman from the notable Kaufman family. So we're going to be talking about a number of different things, including politics, real estate, and a number of other things that's developed around the Chicagoland area. And we have a very bright young man who's going to tell us what's going to happen here in the Chicagoland area over the next few years. So, Brandon, who are you? What are you about here, sir?
Thank you so much. Well, my name is Brandon Kaufman. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
L.A.
That's very true. Very, very true. But I have a lot of family in Chicago, and I think California. Chicago is a very well-balanced and well-needed state to intertwine both states together. So currently living in Fox Lake, Illinois, interesting place, but at the same time you got to start small to grow big. And at the end of the day, the only way to get bigger is to enjoy oneself and to basically also enjoy the fruits and their labors of helping one another.
Got it. Right now we have an issue with you, Brandon. You're single, looking to possibly get married at some time in the near future. We also have an issue that's going to be talking about a political aspiration that you have. We'll be talking a little bit more about that. We're looking at how you're going to manage the dynasty here for the Kaufman family over the next few years, and telling women that, hey, you're going to be giving out your telephone number, so don't be calling you in the middle of the night saying, let's get together. That's not the way it works. Let's listen to Brandon, what he's about, what he wants to achieve, and how he can help the 350 plus million people in the country to make this a better place to live. So how can we get this done, Brandon?
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And the only way to get that done actually is basically to work together. And I see a lot of potential longevity in this state and working amongst the people when the good months are inhabited, but also when the bad months are inhabited. So
You mean when it's snowing?
you said it, not me. And I think, yes, I'm 27 going on, 80 sometimes. But at the end of the day, single, ready to mingle. But right now I'm trying to figure out the next steps. And, I'm choosing my soon-to-be wife wisely. And the way the world works is you have to
make sure you pick the right woman.
Oh, I know.
I told you, I've gone through that problem twice, and it's definitely not something you would have to do more than once.
You've shared some of your past experiences, as well as I have some friends in the California area that they've shared their past experiences, and I was very blessed over the years to learn from a young age that you got to pick the right one. So right now, I'm testing the seas.
Okay.
As the ocean surrounds me.
Here's an issue right now we had some discussions on. Right now you told me that you have a major goal in life, that you have this desire to be president of the United States of America. That's a very big job. Why do you want to do that, and when?
Thank you. Yes, I do plan on running for president of the United States, and I feel like I'm doing it now, to be honest. But at the same time, you have to start small, like I said. And the only way to do that is with a strong cabinet and a strong people and network behind you. So the longevity between now and tomorrow is what the future holds.
Okay. Again, there's a lot of people that are going to be dependent on you. Again, I got my 15-year-old daughter who will be there saying, hey, what is this guy doing here with our country? It's not an easy job. And right now we have a huge amount of flags that are out there. And right, one of the biggest one I've had to deal with lately has been China. What's your opinion on China, and how do we deal with them?
China's very complicated, especially with what's going on regarding our political system as well as our financial system, and we make too many items in China. We need to bring our infrastructure and well-being back in America.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is with American-made. And I agree with our past President Trump, but I'm not trying to get super involved in politics. I know you brought that up, but I want to keep this as neutral as possible.
Okay. Right now we got some legislation that is on the table right now saying there's some people that provide services here in the U.S. that want to be banned from selling their product here in the U.S. And they basically say, hey, this is a Chinese type technology that could basically be trying to immigrate or take technology away from us, and they're looking to give this technology and keep them out of our system. Do you feel that that's worthwhile or not the way to go?
Not exactly. No, I want more in-house leadership and working together. I don't want to deal with a lot of outsourcing. I want to do, business-oriented in the United States, and especially in California, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, that's where I'm born and bred, and just because I'm here for now doesn't mean I won't be back.
Because we're talking two of the biggest monster economies on the planet. We got China and the United States. And right now, if we're talking about them battling, there's a lot of war going on. And right now, China's pretty much militarily building itself up to handle the U.S. And right now, if we had to go to war with China, we're talking a lot of people that are going to be killed. A lot of damage will take place upon our economies, and something that I don't think should ever take place.
No, you're right, and it's unfortunate, and the only way to stop that is to basically educate yourself. With a proper education system, there's no need for any of this war to happen,
Okay.
as well as to focus on well-being and financial system. So if you focus on longevity rather than the problems, better things will come. They always do. It just takes time.
Got it. Education is one of my biggest issues right now. I have a daughter who is a freshman in school, and she's going to this crazy place, spending $20,000 a year for her to go to high school. Like, God, does that make sense to me? But it's something her mother decided she wanted her to do. And right now it's ranked pretty highly in the state. And right now, something you can't deal with. But the real issue that I have right now with education is the U.S. is basically losing in areas of science. We don't teach science well for people. Math, definitely not being taught. And the other related education areas. Why are we trying to have a country right now that's one of the major sources on the planet, but still can't educate its people to the highest levels?
Because they're not in-house education. We're outsourcing everything. A little bit of what I said, but at the same time, if you raise your children correctly, you raise them in public schools or you have private schools. Yes, there's going to be extra funding that needs to be supported when it comes to private schools, but at the end of the day, they're better off. They truly, truly are, because you have a smaller niche of people. And with a smaller niche of people, you can focus more on those small core values and core groups of where those issues basically come. And then once you have those problems, they can be taken care of much easier.
You think so?
Yeah.
Question for you on the world of political aspirations again. As president, you do a number of things, but comparing yourself to former President Mr. Obama, you said you voted for him. Did he set any models that you think made sense?
Well, technically, I remember watching Obama be put into office when I was a kid. But at the same time, yes, I did like Obama, and I still do. And not because of the African American aspect. I respect his policies, and he had a good tongue. Let's put it this way: he knew how to speak well. But at the same time, his verbatim longevity of what he wanted overall did turn out very well, even though there was a lot of negative issues. I could say more, but it's complicated.
It's a very complicated situation. And Obama
It's
coming
making
to,
me go in
Yeah.
different directions.
Obama coming to office again, the first defined African American president, definitely was a change for the country, and he did survive.
It's true.
Again, one of the highest amount of death threats against him of any president that existed in the United States, but he did survive and made it through the term. And I guess to say, if people were saying, could we have extended his term? I think people would have not minded that extension if it were actually put to the table or vote. But didn't happen. But the next time is, what will you compare yourself to Obama and what he did in his administration? How would you mimic a lot of those things that he achieved?
I agree with the Obamacare, personally, just for past items that were in my recent future, or recent past, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But at the same time, I definitely want to lower taxes, and I want conservative values. I think the way both Republicans and Democrats work together is they just need to sit down at the table and have open conversations. And Obama and I, we have open ideas. We work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, both you and I are part of the Republican Party. Right now, I feel that my party, the Republican Party, is being sliced up and chopped
Oh, it's
up.
getting sliced up. Oh, it's running around, and there's, and being at the RJC and a couple other events and seeing where they went in those directions. It's interesting the way the world's going right now.
Right.
But you can't look in the past. You have to look forward, and you have to learn from the past and create the future.
Got it. Again, politics is definitely a big animal. And right now, we have a presidential race right now is pretty much neck and neck, almost 100% tied. And
true.
right now, I don't see how this is going to come out on a positive basis.
Joe's interesting. Yeah, there's something I could say, but and some of my friends might know some of my past. But it's there's good and bad with him.
Such as?
He's got good ideas, and he's lowered a lot of bills and a lot of issues, and he's trying to get minimum wage at a valued structure, and I support that. I mean, if you think about it, not everyone's going to like the person in office. It's a valid point.
Right.
I mean, you can look at all past presidents, and there's good ones and there's bad ones, and it just takes time to really justify a true value in culture as well as logistics.
Now, Biden also made an interesting step. He made his vice president a female. There will be, I believe in my lifetime, a female president of the United States of America. Do you think that will take place?
I do.
And will you elect a vice president candidate as a female?
If I become president of the United States, I will take an option to have a female vice president, because I think the woman brain has definite more ideas than the male genealogy. And it's fascinating the way the two human beings work together.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense and doesn't confuse you, but that could also be a more leisurely conversation.
I think women are definitely interesting creatures.
Yes, they are.
So it's the thing that goes on. Having to deal with my daughter these days, it's definitely an issue that you have to make. Is this my child, or how did this get
Like,
created?
what did I do to make this?
Yeah, but issues that go on. But the other side of the political format here, right now, how do people contact you and get involved with your campaign if you want that to happen?
Well, we spoke prior. My personal information is 818-231-5465, as well as you can email me, and I'm happy to send that out. But at the same time, I'm definitely better with a phone call. It's much easier. Just text me, call me. I don't have someone working for me at the moment. I do all my work myself. So it does keep me pretty busy, and I'm doing a lot of pro bono work here. So if you
Just
want...
to let people know, hey, it may take a little time for me to get back to you, but hey, it can take place. Another issue that's on the table these days that you might have some opinions on, Israel.
Okay?
What is your opinion on what we're doing here in the U.S. to combat Israel, all the military and other items that are going towards Israel? And do you feel that we should continue or stop it totally?
Personally, being Jewish myself, I will 100% always support Israel. I'm very blessed. I've been to Israel 5 times, and I have no problems or disregard against Israel. I will always support Israel, and I understand the issues that are at heart, and the only way to stop them is you just got to work harder.
Okay, explain to me, because again, I hear every day about issues with Israel.
I know.
I hear about
I
the
know.
billions of dollars coming from the U.S. to fund military campaigns in Israel and equipment. So I can't continue to support that for happening. You feel it should continue?
Well, I think Israel will always need our support, and the United States has the funding to ship over and to keep the people in, Israel safe. So that's the bottom line. And the issues that behind closed doors are complicated. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So bottom line is, it's going to take a little time to
Yeah.
get this thing mellowed out and make everyone happy. Or can
It's
that
time, money, perseverance, as well as we need to do more of this. Communication.
Okay.
Communication is the lifeblood, and it helps the world connect and it work together.
Can we ever create a situation where Israel becomes a neutral situation, where we don't have to worry about war and more weapons and things of that nature? Or will it always be like this?
It depends if people open up and they have more of an open mind. There's still a lot of people living in the past.
One of my predictions came out was that World War III will happen in Israel. Do you feel that that actually can take place?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, if we ever have something like that, we do have the weapons and the protocol to wipe anyone out, but that will never happen.
Okay.
Ever.
So, hey, we'll keep going, and hopefully nothing will happen to create more issues like that. What's your feeling with our favorite buddies in Russia these days?
Like Putin?
Yes.
Putin's interesting. I like Putin. I have never met
You
the
like
man
him, huh?
personally,
Okay.
but I find him fascinating. I mean, I've always found Russians very unique, and
In what way?
they're just very smart. And that's very broad. But at the same time, while myself is very outside of the box, the Russians, can be very vindictive. They could also be very open-ended and strong like bull.
Yeah, because I'm still
Like
I'm still confused, because I do not know why the Russians, other than the agricultural issue of why they attacked the Ukraine, made no sense to me.
It didn't really make a lot of sense. It was complicated. They didn't need to mish the intertwines of issues, but they're doing that because of the timing. Everything is timing. Timing is kind of mixing right now. It's complicated.
Yeah, it's very complicated. And right now, the Ukraine is sitting on a breadbasket for all of Europe. A lot of things flow through the Ukraine. A lot of people get fed by things that are harvested in the Ukraines. And right now, Russia is trying to control that from taking place. And right now, they've bombed the heck out of the Ukrainians, and they're trying to stop it from happening. And right now, the U.S. bandage that's being put on there to give them some more military help is not stopping it.
I don't know why. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's kind of putting a Band-Aid. If you get a shark to bite you, the Band-Aid's probably not going to help you the most.
That's true. That's very true.
And unfortunately, things we can't stop in certain situations.
You just have to go with the punches.
Yeah.
And when things happen, you have to find something better and make it work.
Yeah. Back to the U.S. right now. With you and Kaufman real estate, the items that you and your dad do throughout the Chicago and California area, what's the main objective that you guys want? How can people deal with the Kaufman Realty and get things set up? What's the main value you bring to the public?
Well, right now I'm trying to basically promote my father's business. While he's both a real estate broker in California and real estate broker in California and Illinois, I'm basically doing more marketing. I don't really want to personally get licensed. I did work at Berkshire Hathaway for a little bit of time in my life, and I never really wanted to go that particular route for long term, even though it was lucrative for a little bit of time when I was there. I am trying to bring back Kaufman Realty and Spirit Mortgage that once was in existence at Roscoe Boulevard in California.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to look back in the past forever, but at the same time, like I said, sometimes you got to go 20 steps back to go 100 steps forward. So my dad and I are, working some things out, and I'm trying to help him. While he's a pilot for another 3.5 years, he's got that on him as well. But you got to stay busy. You got to stay hungry. I mean, considering he's from Illinois and I'm from California, like, I'm busy. I'm snappy. I like run.
Got it.
Not to be rude, but a lot of Illinois people, they ain't as fast as me. And I'm trying to speed them up.
Okay. So you can't give them some speed juice. Like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
What's going to be the scenario here? I mean, real estate is an area that I would recommend that most people always have. I'd rather be a owner than a renter.
Of course.
And
That's what I
valuations right
did.
now are totally different between here and California. Definitely California has the most expensive real estate values in the country.
I know.
And it's a matter of looking at Illinois. Illinois values have definitely started to skyrocket. So people are coming back and finding value here in Illinois. Do you think that's going to continue?
I do. I think right now we're at a stagnant position. I'd have to talk to some friends and associates for more of a advice on that. But at the same time, the only way change happens is when you make it happen. And you have to acquire the assets as well as become negotiable.
Okay.
So it works in multiple areas. It just does.
Got it. Just the two hands can only do one thing at a time. So
Yeah.
it's a format. But back to you right now, sir. You said there's going to be a Mrs. Kaufman in the near future. And what's the best route for these young ladies who are watching this episode today to get in contact with you?
Interesting. I said that on a different platform, but at the same time, right now I'm single. I'm single and ready to mingle. There's no need for a woman.
Is there an ideal Kaufman woman that you see?
Depends, but right now, not right now. Right now, yes, I would like to have a woman, and I think every male needs a woman, but the only way to do that is with liquidity and finance, and I'm in the process of bringing back my empire. Let's put it that way.
To be president, of course, there will have to be a Miss Kaufman, at least in my understanding of being a president in the United States.
That's true, because she takes care of all the what's ever needed at the White House.
Yeah, the first lady has to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So that will go on from there. What's your prediction right now on education? What do you want the U.S. to do? What's going to be the best model to make this work here in our country? Or can it happen?
It can. I mean, there's a lot of people that are being educated at home, and they're not actually going to school anymore, per se, at the typical, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. school system. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay. They're doing more hybrid systems, but I still personally believe the problem with technology is there's not a lot of this, and there's too much of this.
Okay.
Too much texting.
So the question comes back also with our youth and education and all the other things. What do you think is the impact right now for all the immigrants coming into our country right now? What's the impact that's really having on our educational system?
Well, 50-50, it could go in two ways. I mean, on one hand, it's if they're not legal citizens, it's bad. But on the other hand, if they become legal citizens, it's good labor.
Okay.
So I'm just honest.
Yeah. Well, saying, hey, immigrants are coming in, and they say there are a lot of very intelligent immigrants that are coming in. Right now, they want to work, and of course, they want to earn a wage. And right now, they work very hard.
They're very hard workers, yes, 100%. And if you pay them correct and you pay them fair wages, they will work hard. They will.
Yeah.
It's proven, and I've seen it in my past.
So do you think right now, with what we're doing here in Illinois, taking in a lot of the immigrants, trying to set things up, is this really the best way to do it? Or should we pretty much hold it from taking place?
We'd have to hold it, and Pritzker and I got to talk. He's interesting.
Pritzker is an interesting character.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's nice kind of growing up as a billionaire. You don't have to worry about a few things.
Uh-huh.
And now he's saying maybe presidency. We'll get that in some point in the future.
Yes.
But hey, we'll roll from there and make it happen.
Yes.
Okay. Getting back to issue with my child. I got a 15-year-old daughter here who right now just won Miss Teen USA. And
Yes,
right
you
now,
told me, yes.
she likes to do things like modeling and things of that nature. And she's saying, hey, what do I want to do right now? Am I going to be the actress? Am I going to be a supermodel? Or am I going to be the doctor? And right now I have an issue where she could definitely go to some good med schools here in the Midwest, like a Northwestern or a University of Chicago, or a few others that are out there. But what do you tell a child when you can give them a number of opportunities? She's thinking about Stanford, saying, I'm supposed to be taking her to Stanford at the end of the month to go out and visit. Can you really educate folks to understand that, hey, it's definitely more economical to stay here in our state, take advantage of the valuable universities we have available, and utilize what we have?
I agree with that. I mean, personally, she has the opportunity to have a free ride, if not very, very low cost and expensive, to get a proper 4-year education. She should take it in Illinois. And she's from Illinois. She knows the ins and outs of this state. I mean, that's just my personal way I see it. I mean, when I went to college, I went to Cal State University, Northridge in California.
Cal State!
Yeah, it's a good school. So I purposely went there because of low costs. That's the bottom line. I didn't need all these big, USC and, Trojans and all that, all these big schools, because I was pretty well connected and I met people through other sorts of various things I did and various just events, let's put it that way. Okay. So, I mean, California is very different than Illinois, but at the same time, if I were your daughter, I would stay local, and you'll meet the people. You'll get a strong high niche, and there are good people in this state. There truly are.
Because I almost went to school in California. I used to spend my summers. My brother was working in Oakland. Right now he's working for the city of San Francisco. And if I went to live in California where he was, I'd have to stay for 3 years. I get a free ride for the schools there, and that would have been the great spot. I would have went to Berkeley. That was my target.
It's a good school.
Yeah.
I got a couple friends that graduated from there. Yeah.
Not a bad school, but I decided to be the idiot and come to the University of Chicago. One of those terrible, low-grade schools. But hey, they do get some good ratings from time to time. But hey, it's not a deal that get done.
Yeah.
So the format right now with you, I heard you were also involved in some of the sorority issues that went through campus at UC.
Well, fraternity events and sorority events, but I haven't done that in a while. That was back when I was in college. Again? Alpha Epsilon Pi.
Alpha Epsilon, aye. You guys ever heard of Omega Psi Phi?
Yes, I have, and they're good time. So being involved in the Greek organization definitely opened up doors, and it still does. I mean, sometimes you have to close those doors for a while, but then they reopen depending on the people you encounter. So, yeah, it's fun.
Hey, again, it's the world of education. The things that we do, we learn, and we move forward.
And with the world at your fingertips, not just saying yours, but also digitally, and if you have the big screens and everything, you can have it's very easy. It's Zoom, or you meet in person and get a cup of coffee. It's very easy.
Yeah. So my big question is, what is the future for Brandon Kaufman? What's the next 3-5 years? What are you going to do?
Well, I'm outsourcing and I'm open-minded, and I'm basically trying to give my expertise and opportunity while I'm in this state, as well as clean out some of my my father's property in Wisconsin, but we're, working together and making that property better.
Now, we had also talked about you donating some time to different companies and corporations that needed assistance from you and the things that you have the expertise in. Is that still an open door?
That is, and I've already done that with 4 different companies. I can't think of their particular names. I'd have to look back at my notes. But
and how do you help these companies?
Labor.
Okay.
I do a lot of labor, but at the same time, or I meet with them and I see how I can help them from a financial perspective. But at the same time, just teaching people the basics and ethics of what's needed and what's not.
Because I know you're doing a big marketing plan for the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce. You're going to be assisting them on the June 27th cruise that they're doing here in Illinois. So you're going to be doing some of the marketing, making sure that people are getting reservations and coming on the boat for their cruise and the activities that are taking place. So you're involved in that, right?
That's correct. Yeah, it reminds me from good times of being on many, many boats in my past. So, yeah.
Okay. So again, your hands are pretty full. And right now, for people to get involved, they have to contact you at what number?
818-231-5465.
Okay.
Or you can email me at bkauf1996@gmail.com. But I prefer you just call me or text me. It's a lot easier. It goes directly to the source.
And again, we're talking about helping different for-profit and not-for-profits in marketing and whatever items they need to perfect their operations and getting help where needed.
That's correct.
Okay. And then also remember that they're talking to the future president of the United States, so they can get some kickback also.
That's true. There's some. I'm a sneaky man.
Okay,
Nixon and I.
There's a few carrots that are out
we
there.
go way back.
So bottom line with this upcoming election right now, we're going to have 2 debates. What do you think is going to happen? Are those debates going to really make a difference?
Not really. I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know what they're going to spew. I mean, they love to spew, especially the Trumpster. But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, because again, it's becoming an interesting race. They're still, from what I've gotten the polls, tied neck and neck right now. And I still can't believe that Trump is battling his court situations. And right now, I was trying to say, am I going to go to jail or what? But right now, he's still running neck and neck with the current president and saying, hey, I can be a president. I can be better than this guy. And even if I go to jail, I can still be a better president.
He's doing God's work. He's helping. He's doing good things, even though he's a pain in the you know what.
I can only say that I hope I don't have to experience this, but right now the stats are not in my favor.
Yes, from a financial perspective, I understand.
Yeah, terrible world. But going on to other things, we have an issue with you right now. You got a lot of things on your table. I could say probably a lot that are there. And right now you're trying to be helped. We have people who want to have you involved with what they're trying to get done and make sure that you're pretty much there to give them some recommendations. Right now you help a lot of people with the marketing side. You have a lot of people that may have some issues with Jewish relationships, things that are happening in Israel, and managing youth and the direction of future that's going to happen. Those are all items that you really have under the Kaufman Foundation these days?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. So right now, between the Kaufman, Realty Foundation and other friends within Chicago, it's working well.
Okay. So what's your opinion right now on our new mayor here in Chicago? How's he been handling his first year?
He's interesting.
Okay. We've had a lot of things going in, from the immigrant invasion to a whole host of other things, but he's had a lot of torpedoes coming in.
You're talking about Brandon?
Yes.
Yeah, we share the same name.
That other Brandon.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw him at a event actually. Yeah, he's interesting. I think, needs to speak more and less BS talk, and actually do something.
What do you think's been his big problem? Or biggest problem?
After speaking with some of the African American community, it's not, his voice is nice, but he's not actually doing anything. So it's fluff. It's a lot of fluff and busy work. So, and he's covering for perhaps what could have been done years ago. But there's only so much that can be done. I mean, you got to look in the future.
So do you think that if Brandon would have been a white guy, it would have been different?
Perhaps, but he's also engaging with a lot of the African American community, which is great. So you got to pick your battles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's life.
Yeah, it's only so much you can do.
Yes.
I, again, did not get a chance to vote for Brandon, given what was going on in that short period of time. Of course, I'm on the Republican side, so that's a different format. He was not my candidate. But Brandon is trying to do a job, and he wants to bring the West Side that he's from back to life,
Yeah.
and make some things happen for people. A lot of people need help,
I agree.
and we can only do so much under so much time.
Everything's timing, and you got to just, you throw a little bit of shekels here and there, and things change, and things do get better. It's timing.
Do you have an opinion, or is there really an opinion from the Jewish community on what Brandon's done?
I'd have to talk to some more of my Jewish brothers and sisters while being in this state.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that there is a huge Jewish influx here in the Chicagoland area.
Yes, there is.
And
In Highland Park. Yeah.
They have a number of opinions, and things go on.
A number
Okay.
of opinions. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It does what it does. You can only get so much done. But we run from there. Now, what's this scenario for your involvement on the cruise for the African Americans? What's going to be the big push here? How many people do you want? It's a boat, I think, has 400 people that's going to be on the boat. And again, last year it came out and it was sold out. So right now, I'm assuming it's going to be some big marketing activity.
Yeah. Basically, it reminds me of an event I went to like at the start of my college career. And it's a schmoozing event. It's a good event. And you get people involved and network, and some drink, some don't, doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, the whole point is to network and bring future relations. That's
Okay.
really all it is.
And that's, again, what I'm told. It's supposed to be the main
Well-
focus.
Plus, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You got the weather. You're going to be on a boat. You're going to ride around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard that we might even be taping there on the boat. Can TV did that last year.
Yes. Yes.
So we're going to see if that's going to happen, but hopefully it will take place. But bottom line, Brandon, you've been here for almost
4 months.
hour. No, I'm saying time-wise, almost an hour. And the key things, what's the key thing you want your people, at least the people listening to this program, to remember about you?
Have a very longevity in this state, and I wish only the best, and I want only good things for America. So remember Kaufman.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, what's your biggest thing to leave on the background with our current governor, who is also potentially running for president at some point? You guys may be running against each other at some future point. How would you battle with our current governor?
The fluffy man?
What did you call him?
The fluffy man.
Oh, God.
I'm very straightforward.
Okay.
I don't know. He's interesting. He's spoon-fed all his life, so I don't really like people like that. They
And-
don't really meet my mold.
And he may be watching this program, so what you're saying, he's going to be writing notes on, saying, hey, let me see what I need to do to get this Kaufman guy. Who do I need to pay to combat
Who do I
this
gotta
guy?
pay? Yeah.
He's done that a few times, but he's had
Yes, he
to
has.
compete with certain folks. Like, hey, who do I buy to compete with this guy so he can't go to the next level?
Correct, but he doesn't really meet my mold. I don't really work well with people that are spoon-fed. I work well with people that actually worked and work hard and know the value of a dollar.
Got it. Now, you didn't tell me, but where did you grow up?
I grew up a little bit of everywhere, in Sherman Oaks, Calabasas, West Hills. I've been around.
So what made you what you are today?
Probably my stepmom,
Okay.
as well as my family. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
And that pretty much put the
I mean, my father as well. I mean, my father, I'm like a spitting image of my father, but we're also very, very different. Extremely. But you have to, you got to pick your poisons.
okay.
Yeah.
And again, it's not an easy thing. So I'm trying to tell my daughter the different things that she can do, and you're trying to find some pieces that will stick and make sure they understand what you're saying and can really relate to what you're trying to do.
I agree.
There are thousands of millions of other kids that are out there your age that are probably saying, at one point, would I really want to be the president of the United States? What would motivate them to want to do something like that?
We need younger blood. We need fresh blood.
Yes.
People are too old. I'm just straight. I'm straightforward. Like, that's bottom line. I mean, JFK was young, but he got shot.
Yes.
So,
So right now you're saying younger blood is the key.
yeah. Because
And
you have the future values of what's actually going on currently and what needs to happen for longevity. Not just, let's have a good time, how can I fix things now? It's yes, I want to fix things now, but you need to then last and make them last for years to come.
Got it. So right now, my biggest issue, we talked about this a few minutes ago, briefly, but my biggest issue right now is the battle of the U.S. with China. Right now, if I had to look at one of the biggest issues that we'll be facing over the next decade or so, will be the battle with China. How can we make this work, and how can you make this work for everybody? How can we do a win-win situation there?
We talked a little bit about that. Personally, I need to look back in my notes and see, but at the same time, the Chinese government just needs to jump on board with the United States. I mean, just because they might have more money than us, we're the actual ones that actually know what we're doing. So
It's not
it
an
takes
easy-
two to tango.
Yeah, it's not an easy dance.
No,
And right now, China likes to win.
of course.
They have a lot of things on the table. And right now, we can't afford to lose.
No.
Right now, they're pretty much on par with technology. They have
They've been for years.
the weapons, they have the Air Force, they have the other things that we compete with. But right now, they're getting a lot of information that we already have, and they're getting helped by the Soviet Union. That adds additional items to what they need.
Yeah, the United States needs to get back to the skin and bones mentality and actually get back to being fit and not fat. I mean, while I might be counterproductive from what I'm saying, being a politician, you get fluffy. So
Does happen.
it's like, this is the heaviest I've ever been. So it's a little complicated. But at the end of the day, if you look back in the 50s, California was at its best bet. Best it's probably been in a long time. Because they went to the gym every day, they were involved, they were communicative. It was very, very needed. And today, people are just eating and sleeping. Eating and sleeping. It's not good.
Eating again. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, what's going on?
It's like, what are you doing? You need to take a walk. Go no. Go to the
do you
gym.
Do you go to gym daily?
I go to the gym about 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah. I try my daily activity where I do my morning run, my afternoon run, and evening run. And I try to at least in a walk basis where I try to get around and my cane, trying to go around and get things done. But hey, you got to keep doing it and the body responds.
It's repetitive movement. Yeah.
And if you do what it needs, it reacts better.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And again, I can definitely feel it on the inside. And hey, I'm a scenario that, look, you want to keep going, you're going to have to keep doing this.
I agree with you.
And it's something that, hey, we try to learn and you don't let it fall out of place.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Last note, where am I going to see you in the next 12 months?
Again, figuring that out. But at the same time, I'm always running around doing different things. So I'm trying to enjoy the fruits of my labor.
Would you take any board seats if you possibly got a call from some of the nonprofits?
I would.
Maybe the homeless.
I would.
Also the education side.
Yeah.
And you've even helped a few people lately that are running for board seats on the CPS, Chicago Education System.
Yes, I have, and as well as the place I'm currently living at in Fox Lake, even though I'm not technically a resident there, I mean, I still have everything still connected to California, but I did that on purpose.
Okay.
I've been sitting on the meetings, and there's some interesting people in this community, but it's from the 70s, so there's a lot of things that are finally being upgraded and fixed. And while the costs might have gone up, they're chump change to what I'm used to. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just very...
It's just reality.
It's just reality. I mean, the funds in this state are nothing to the figures that a Californian is used to. So it just needs to be fixed, and just the digits need to be changed.
Got it. It's the big state. You roll from there. We do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, we know that we have a Kaufman that's looking to see the presidency in the near future, and definitely looking for support. People would like to come in and say, get behind him and say, hey, let's make this work. Right now, we even have another candidate that's out there. Would you possibly coordinate with him?
Yeah. I just got a call. Or you get a cup of coffee. We can talk.
Okay.
I'm very chill. I'm very relaxed. Sometimes we don't need these big meetings, big events. I'm a very laissez-faire kind of guy.
Okay, so again, he's on the Democratic side. You're the Republican. Would you try to bring them together?
I would. Yeah.
How could we do that?
You read some of the past history, and it works. And it works. It does.
So again, I can see it now. Kaufman and Kennedy. Kennedy, Kaufman.
Yeah.
What can we say?
What can we say? We'll see what happens. It'll be fun.
Hey,
I'm looking forward to the traveling and the shaking hands. It'll be good. And you know, all politicians, they got to kiss babies.
Yeah. See, you guys get to roll like that. For me, I'm not looking for presidency. I'll do Senate, but I'm not looking to be in the White House as a president.
It's complicated. It's a complicated job.
Yeah, and again, I only have so much time. Now, my biggest issue, I got to get back to the NBA. I got to change the rules. They got to let me come on the court with a cane. I'm a 95% three-point shooter, so it's going to happen. I'm telling you, if you let me come back, I'll bring Michael with me, get him back in shape, and then we'll bring a championship back to the Bulls.
Yeah, it's been a while. The Bulls had 6 championships, but it's been some time since, the last championship was, 96, 97?
Yeah, right, and I don't have my ring.
Yeah.
See, again, I need a ring. What can we say? It's that motivation.
I know.
But I know it can happen. It can happen.
It could.
And again,
Due diligence.
that is the way it will work.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's been an interesting time talking with you, and I hope that you've enjoyed some of the conversation we've had a chance to make here.
I have, and I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
Hey, it's been a joy, and I'll be looking to talk to you again in that pre-election presentation that you'll be doing.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then we'll have to find out who's going to be the first lady.
Soon. Soon.
It can always be good. Hey, what can we say? But thanks again.
See the baby cross the way with the face of an angel, looking for her very own sunshine. All alone in her faith, many roads to travel, but she don't mind. A lost child on the edge of tomorrow. See the baby cross the way with the face of an angel, looking for